Faith, a beacon of hope in times of despair. In the life and teachings of Jesus, faith takes center stage. It's the foundation upon which miracles are built, lives transformed, and destinies rewritten. Ordinary people encountered the extraordinary love of Jesus. They dared to believe and witness the impossible become possible. Their stories ignite a flame within us, reminding us that faith is a force that can move mountains and mend broken hearts. Imagine a tapestry, intricately woven with threads of hope and belief. Each thread represents a soul who encountered Jesus. Each story, a testament to the power of faith. From a woman seeking healing to a disciple walking on water, faith empowered them to overcome adversity. Let us open our hearts to these lessons. Let their stories inspire us to embrace faith in our lives. Picture this: a bustling crowd, a sea of faces, and in their midst, a woman. This woman carries a secret, a burden she's borne for 12 long years, a condition that isolates her, steals her strength, and leaves her desperate for a miracle. For 12 years, she sought healing. Countless physicians, empty promises, her hope dwindling with each passing day. Then she hears a whisper, a name that echoes with both power and compassion: Jesus. Could this be her answer? A flicker of hope ignites within her. Driven by a desperate hope, she pushes through the throng of people. Each step a victory, each jostle a testament to her unwavering resolve. Fear whispers doubts, but she silences them. This time is different. This time, Jesus is here. She catches a glimpse of him. His presence radiates warmth and compassion. Her eyes fix on the hem of his robe. In that instant, a surge of faith courses through her. She believes with every fiber of her being that if she can just touch his garment, she will be healed. With trembling hands, she reaches out. Time seems to stand still as her fingers brush against the fabric. Jesus, aware that power has gone out from him, turns to the crowd. "Who touched my clothes?" he asks. His disciples, perplexed, point out the throng pressing around him. But Jesus persists, his gaze sweeping over the faces before him. The woman, trembling yet filled with joy, falls at his feet. Her secret is revealed, her healing a testament to the power of her faith. Jesus gently assures her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." In that moment, her life is forever changed. Imagine Jesus praying alone on a mountainside, juxtaposed with the turbulent Sea of Galilee, where his disciples struggle against a raging storm. The disciples, seasoned fishermen, find themselves in a desperate battle for survival. Just when their hope begins to dwindle, a figure appears in the distance. Walking towards them, unfazed by the tempest, is Jesus. Peter, always the impetuous one, can't contain himself. Could it really be Jesus? He has to know for sure. "Lord, if it's you," he calls out, "tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus replies, "Come." Peter scrambles over the side of the boat and steps onto the churning sea. To his astonishment, he doesn't sink. He's walking on water. For a few glorious moments, Peter experiences the impossible. But then, his gaze shifts. He sees the fury of the storm, feels the wind, hears the waves. Doubt creeps in, and he begins to sink. Imagine yourself sinking, and Jesus reaches out, grabbing your arm, pulling you up. He helps you back into the boat. his touch firm yet gentle. You can hear him say, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" As you collapse onto the deck, the storm stops, the wind dies down, and a calm settles over the sea. The disciples, awestruck, fall silent. You reflect on what just happened. You had walked on water, but doubt crept in and clouded your faith. True faith means keeping your eyes fixed on Jesus. In the heart of the Roman Empire, amidst the pomp and power of Caesar's legions, we encounter a man of unexpected faith. A Roman centurion, a soldier accustomed to command, finds himself humbled by a situation he cannot remedy. His beloved servant lies at home, paralyzed and in agony. The centurion, a man of compassion, is deeply troubled by his servant's plight. Word reaches the centurion about a Jewish teacher named Jesus. Tales of his miraculous healings spread, igniting a glimmer of hope within him. Could this Jesus be the answer to his prayers? Determined to seek Jesus' help, the centurion sets out to find him. He has heard that Jesus is in Capernaum. His journey is fueled by a mix of desperation and hope. As he approaches the town, he sees a large crowd gathered around Jesus. The centurion, used to commanding attention, is struck by the humility of this Jewish teacher. Rather than pushing his way through the throng, the centurion sends messengers ahead. "Lord," they say, "my servant lies at home paralyzed, in terrible distress. Please, come and heal him." The crowd murmurs in surprise. A Roman soldier seeking help from a Jewish rabbi? It was an unusual sight. Jesus, moved by the centurion's request, agrees to go with them. But the centurion stops him, saying, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. Just say the word and my servant will be healed." Jesus, astounded, declares, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." And at that moment, the centurion's servant is healed. Imagine a world shrouded in perpetual darkness. This was the reality for a blind man, his world a tapestry woven with shadows and echoes. Since birth, blindness had been his constant companion. He navigated the world through touch and sound, relying on the kindness of strangers. He had heard tales of a world bathed in light, but these remained distant concepts. He spent his days begging on the roadside, his plight a familiar sight. Some offered coins, others averted their eyes. Yet beneath the surface of despair, a flicker of hope resided within him. He had heard whispers of a healer named Jesus, who possessed the power to restore sight to the blind. One fateful day, as the blind man sat by the roadside, he heard an approaching commotion. The murmur of a large crowd grew louder. "Who is it?" he inquired. "It's Jesus of Nazareth, the healer," someone replied. A surge of hope coursed through him. This was his chance. He had to reach Jesus. Mustering all his strength, he rose to his feet and cried out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." His cries were met with resistance. "Be quiet," some shouted, but he refused to be silenced. His persistent cries reached Jesus, who paused, drawn to the blind man's desperate plea. Jesus asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man, heart pounding, stumbled towards Jesus' voice. "Lord, I want to see." Jesus, filled with compassion, touched the blind man's eyes. "Receive your sight," he said. "Your faith has healed you." Instantly, the world exploded in colors. The darkness vanished, replaced by the brilliance of the sun and the astonished faces of the crowd. Tears of joy streamed down his face. He looked upon Jesus, knowing he had received more than just physical sight. In the quiet village of Bethany, nestled amidst the rolling hills of Judea, lived 3 siblings, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Their home, a haven of warmth and hospitality, was a frequent stop for Jesus. The siblings, bound by love and shared faith, welcomed him into their lives. Martha busied herself with preparations, ensuring that Jesus and his disciples were well fed. Mary, captivated by his words, absorbed his every teaching. Lazarus cherished these moments of fellowship. Their home became a sanctuary, a place where Jesus could find respite. The news of Lazarus's illness struck Mary and Martha with the force of a physical blow. Their hearts ached with worry, their minds racing with 1,000 questions. They knew their brother was deeply loved by Jesus. Days turned into an agonizing wait, each hour an eternity. Finally, the inevitable occurred. Lazarus breathed his last. Grief, raw and relentless, washed over them. Word reached Jesus of Lazarus's passing. He felt the weight of their sorrow deeply. He knew that death had claimed another victim. "Lazarus is dead," he said to his disciples. Upon Jesus' arrival in Bethany, he was met by Martha, her face etched with sorrow. "Lord," she cried, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus, filled with compassion, placed a comforting hand on her arm. "Your brother will rise again," he assured her. Martha replied, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Jesus then declared, "I am the resurrection and the life." Martha, her faith reignited, replied, "Yes, Lord, I believe." Jesus called Lazarus forth from the grave, demonstrating his power over death. The disciples abandoned hope, their cries swallowed by the wind. They shook him awake, unable to bear perishing without their master. Jesus, calm amidst the chaos, looked upon the raging sea. He stretched out his hand, commanding, "Peace, be still." And in that instant, the wind ceased, the waves froze. An eerie silence descended, nature awestruck by his words. The disciples stared in disbelief. The storm, now tamed, lay beneath a star-studded sky. Fear gave way to awe as they whispered, "Who is this? Do you still have no faith?" He reminded them gently. As we conclude our journey through these inspiring accounts of faith, we find ourselves standing on hallowed ground. The echoes of the woman with the issue of blood, Peter's hesitant steps on the water, the centurion's unwavering belief, the blind man's desperate plea, Mary and Martha's grief-stricken hope, and the disciples' terror in the storm. These echoes resonate through the ages, reminding us of the transformative power of faith in Jesus. Each story, a testament to the truth that faith is not merely a passive belief, but an active trust, a conscious choice to place our hope in something beyond ourselves, something greater than our circumstances. It's about reaching out, even with trembling hands, and touching the hem of his garment, believing that he is who he says he is and that he can do what he promises. It's about stepping out of our comfort zones, even onto a stormy sea, keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus, knowing that even if we falter, he will be there to lift us up. It's about believing in his authority, his power to heal and restore, even from a distance, even when we can't see the immediate results. It's about crying out to him, even when others try to silence us, knowing that he hears the cries of our hearts and responds with compassion and grace. It's about holding on to hope, even in the face of death, trusting that He is the resurrection and the life, and that His promises are true. Faith is not a destination, but a journey through valleys of shadow and over mountains of joy. There will be times when our faith is tested, but in those moments, we must cling to the truth that Jesus is with us. He is our anchor in the storm, our refuge in times of trouble. The journey of faith is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. It leads us closer to the heart of God, transforming us from the inside out. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.